Up. You're live.
It is happening. It's happening live. You know what it is, you guys? It's Bullet Point Nation. And Judd, I think we're on multiple platforms. I think that's the explosive nature of this show. Where are we? Where can people see us right now?
That's true. We are streaming everywhere, whatever StreamYard has done with our new producers. And it's so exciting to be here. So you guys can engage with us live. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Reddit. We're on Twitter, baby. We're on
fire. That's what we are. Okay. It is Bullet Point Nation. We're going to take our time. We're not going to go to the whip too early on this one. But here, I'm just going to break it down for you. Maybe you're new. Maybe you've been living under a rock. Maybe you thought Elvis was still alive. Sad news. The king, we lost him. He's on an island with Kennedy. Here's what we do.
Breaking news. That's funny.
Breaking news. We take the 4 biggest stories, which of course are the stories that Judd and I agree are the biggest stories. We've got a timer. We've got a set amount of time. You're going to get the insight and the bullet points that no one else in the media is talking about. The stuff you can only get right here with the Juddinator and myself. And then at the end of the show, we're going to have a wild card, which is always wild and it's always sexy, especially when I pick them. But again, I made the mistake of letting Judd be in charge.
Today's good. Today's up to Loftus standards.
All right. So Judd, first of all, welcome to the lockdown in California.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the quarantine zone over here in New York. What are tonight's bullet points?
All right, Michael Loftus, tonight's bullet point number 1, hashtag stop the steal. The leftist big lie backed by big tech try to steamroll democracy and America is saying no.
I see where you're going with this. What's bullet point numero dos?
Bullet point numero dos. It took me a moment to see how I Spanish. I'm like, that was not a buffer. That was me. Okay, English, Spanish. No, I'm kidding. Bullet point number 2, the war on Thanksgiving. Or really, Mr. Big Government?
That's a big one. Bullet point number 3.
Bullet point number 3, Trump Big Pharma bash down. Trump's new no favored nations powerfully pounds Big Pharma. Can you say, is Trump still our president?
Oh, snappity snip snap, at least for Christmas. And bullet point number 4.
What's that? Another achievement? That's right, baby. Pfizer and Moderna were both Trump warp speed wins.
Watch out. We're double pumping the pharma. Then I think we're going to plug some stuff. And then the unveiling of the very mysterious yet sexy wild card. Now, listen, before we go to a sweet graphics package, you guys can comment. We're going to comment right back. We'll take we love to keep the discussion going. We'll have them scroll by on the screen. We're talking. We're getting it done. The only thing we need now, Judd, is a sweet graphics package while I'm doing my Italian hands.
Make it so, Bruce.
You know what I saw in there? I saw the cover of your book, Judd.
Thank you.
The cover of your book. That's how you know you've arrived.
You know what I didn't see in there? Your new haircut. Good job.
Thanks. I wish I would have done it myself. That's what you call an old school fade.
Where haircuts have gone, we could do them ourselves almost. You know, the thing is, it's easier now.
I cut mine. I cut my own hair during the hardcore of the first lockdown, and I posted a video about it at the loftusparty.com. So if you've ever wanted to see me cut my hair, America, you know which YouTube channel to go to. Bang. Okay, let's crank up this show. Time's a wasting. I love this. Bullet point numero 1.
Yeah, I'll give it up and I'll let you jump in. Let's get cracking. Stop the steal. The leftist big tech lies are starting to flip over everything that's being said, and they're steamrolling over democracy. Michael, what are your thoughts on what's happening right now with Trump, the Trump legal team?
I will tell you right now, this is the big bullet point. This is where you're only going to get here. Me saying I am not embarrassed. You've got the GOP grabbing their skirts, clutching their pearls. Chris Christie's like, this is embarrassing. No, what's embarrassing is you not standing up for free and fair elections. Sweet Lord in heaven. Somebody bought a horrible piece of information off of an old English spy, that Steele dude, that Steele dossier. Ooh, Trump had an encounter with Russian hookers, and we stopped the presses for 3.5 years, and we investigated that. Right now, you've got Dominion software. You got really bizarre data. You got vote dumps in the middle of the night. You've got sworn affidavits of people saying, I couldn't watch the recount. These ballots look like they were reprinted. There is enough to go full steam ahead. Yes, release the Kraken. I don't think Rudy Giuliani and Trump's lawyers are going to risk their entire careers unless they got a little something. So this whole, the GOP and everybody's like, oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. What's embarrassing are mail-in ballots and stolen elections. That's embarrassing.
Amen. What's your biggest takeaway from last week's news? What's your biggest bullet point?
My biggest bullet point is we got to get rid of voting machines. This whole touchscreen, you'll never be. I don't trust them at the bank. I certainly don't trust them with democracy. We got to go old school. Here's my ID. That's who I am. I make my number on the ballot. It goes in. People count it, and there's oversight. Touchscreens and vote by mail. Those are done. The French got rid of them in 1975. Vote by mail is fraud by mail.
Yeah. I want a nation of purple pod Americans that have just put their hand in a vat of ink like Africa, right? Once you vote, they're like, you can't vote till it wears off for a couple of days till the election's over.
I love it.
I'll take anything, right? What I love this week is I love Sidney Powell. I mean, that's the thing, that she's really fighting for America. I think I hope she's got armed guards around her because she's taking on the system. That's something that's, who's protecting these people right now? They're at risk. What I really hated this week is what the left is doing and the mainstream media is doing is they are creating a fourth arm of our branch of our government that's not elected by the people, that's acting like an election official and awarding an election. Back in 1775, when they created the election laws, they were to protect us from foreign influence, which looks like it happened in Barcelona, looked like it happened in Germany. My big takeaway is they're saying that Bernie was stolen from Hillary, and this is a bipartisan problem. So for Bernie, he should be pretty upset. But they say that he actually went out, got like a lot of money, and got a house. He got bought up. So they say that you could possibly buy the system and buy any election, left or right, for a long time. Let's clean up the system. That is my takeaway.
Yeah. You can't trust it, and you have to be able to trust. You have to be able to trust the process. And congratulations to waking up to the media is the second arm of the Democratic Party. They're supposed to be the fourth state. They're supposed to keep us honest. They're not doing it. Judd, I wish we had more time. Bullet point number 2, guy.
Thus is the beauty of our show. May our brevity be the lucidity of our wit. All right, moving on to bullet point number 2, the war on Thanksgiving. Or, oh, really, big government. So, Michael, I'll jump in on this one. I mean, come on. This is crazy. I mean, look, what is it? In Ohio, you can't sing. You can't have people together in other states. You can't congregate over 6. You have to have mass at home. And in Oregon, now crack is legal. So, I mean, has America lost their mind? They've taken everything from us this year. They've taken our dignity, our prosperity, our GDP, and right now, after Trump announces that he's actually backing a vaccine, that we're headed in the right direction, suddenly all the governors and all the mayors are claiming a war on Thanksgiving because they want to beat down the right before one of our noblest, most important American holidays. Oh! Thank you very much. So what I hate is government control. What I hate is mass, and what I love is Americans marching in freedom, crying as we lose some of our citizens, but continue to move forward. And I think that's the big takeaway.
Is there a governor or a mayor who's had one of these curfews or lockdowns that hasn't been busted yet?
Oh,
I honestly don't. I don't see how anybody takes this seriously. Like Gavin Newsom, he's the crown prince of this crap. Like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm going to go have dinner at an expensive French restaurant sitting next to people. It's completely hypocritical. This has nothing to do with safety. And here's a joke. Anybody who listens to the government's advice on Thanksgiving, I guess they're the real turkey.
You know what the real turkey is? Socialism, right? Everybody is doing it. Dianne Feinstein, like Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, Garcetti, everybody, all the elites are getting busted maskless. Why are we listening?
I don't know why. And why does the government think they have any business telling us how we can have a Thanksgiving dinner? This is the craziest. It's so insane. This is like the government telling you, here's how many presents you're allowed to get for Christmas. Here's how many candles you're allowed to light for Hanukkah. Here's how many stars you're allowed to have on your pentagram if you're wicked.
And you know what I say as a Californian? I'll be damned if big government gets in the way of my yearly tofurkey in California. Because
that just made me sad. That just made me sad. Hopefully you stuff your faux turkey, your tofurkey with bacon.
We're a family of vegans. It's a pretty sad event. You know what's funny? Tofurkey is like 3 times more expensive. It's like 7 people, like $1,000. You're like, wait a minute. I think we just ate a bunch of beans. But
how about you get a real turkey and then just tell everybody it's really good vegan? Boy, this is convincing.
Oh my God, that would be like the mainstream media and Trump challenging the election right there. Exactly.
There you go. Are we on to bullet point number 3?
It is moving fast because we're actually sticking to our format.
I love it.
I love it. Bullet point number 4. You ready?
No, we're on 3, I believe.
3. Oh, forget our counting problem.
We'll go really fast if you start skipping them.
It's true. Bullet point number 3. Trump's big pharma bash down. Trump's no favored nations powerfully pounds big pharma. Can you say Trump is still our president? This was amazing for me, and it was completely underplayed in the news. I mean, Trump went out, and the no favored nations clause basically says that when you put out the price of pharmaceuticals throughout the globe, that we get to match the lowest price. I mean, this moves like insulin, like it moves it like 75% lower in just one category. But overall, it moves drugs 30% lower for our seniors. And this was one of Trump's big promises. It was also one of the reasons he said he had to go into hiding. What I love about Trump is even in the midst of people like, oh, he's not out in the public eye. He's still working. He's still doing his job, man. He's bringing it home there. He brought home warp speed. There's a lot of other things we're working on. It was obviously the case. But once again, add that to the achievement, 362 or something like that. And so he did a great job this week. And a lot of people are very grateful.
This is like, why was this? Here's what I love about Trump. Like, this didn't look like a hard thing to do. This looks like, okay, that makes sense. There should be competition, and whatever the lowest price is, that's what we should do. That's how capitalism is supposed to work. That's how free markets are supposed to work. This is one of those things like I always would love it when like Trump would be like, China's been eating our lunch for years. These guys in Europe have been doing X for years. But here's like Big Pharma getting away with this for years, and finally something's done. Yet another win in the Trump column. Good for him. That's fantastic. And ultimately, good for us, good for Americans, good for everybody who has to buy prescription drugs. And at some point or another, it's going to be all of us. So well done again. And the man never gets the credit that he deserves. Add this to another long list of accomplishments
that was for you.
that people have no idea about, because our media, like you were saying in the previous segment, is just another arm of the Democratic Party. It's horrible. It's shameful, and it makes me angry.
Yeah, and the bullet point is that we've got a businessman in the White House. And that's what America's about. I mean, the guy's been challenging costs since the very beginning. The way he's been challenging trade alone, who's going to carry that forward? Who's our supply side? And this is why I'm fighting till the bitter end to keep this guy in, because he's just... supply side presidents, they blow up in the second 4. And we just got the second 4 years stolen potentially. If he keeps reducing, we're about to go into unprecedented prosperity. We're right there. This is a battle for the war of our nation.
Yeah, it's almost like historically people know that. People know that, like, oh, the next 4 years would be really great. We have to do whatever we can do to make sure he doesn't get reelected. I tell you what, I'm not saying there is fraud, but I'm telling all the constellations have lined up. If you're ever gonna want fraud, need fraud, use fraud, this would be the time I'd use it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So another great achievement by Trump. All right. Moving on. Just to remind the nation that we still have the same president until the end of the year or longer. Moving on.
Yeah.
Point number 4, Michael Loftus. Number 4, another achievement. That's right, baby. I don't think that's what I wrote on the screen. That's right, bitches. Since they put it up there, I might as well save it. Pfizer and Moderna were both Trump warp speed wins. Now that we have our producer there, if I'm gonna edit myself, I better check my text. So continuing on the pharma thing, so I want to stay on this. It's really interesting on this war on our society right now. When it's so interesting, and Trump said it himself. Why did they release the vaccine information right before? Why is the Pfizer heads? Why are they major supporters of the Biden camp? Why, with America's vitality, safety, health, and prosperity, would they hold back this information? And once again, rational, clear people are 2020, Trump in office, announcement, it's a Trump win. And all we're focusing on the coronavirus task force. This is why Trump's been barring his movement into the White House. So he's trying to claim things he hasn't even done. And isn't it interesting, Michael, how the left is just taking this hook, line, and sinker? I want to make this point right after the last point, because we're continuing to march forward. But no, Democrats would rather have you have a repressed Thanksgiving. They'd rather lock it down. They'd rather repress and delay because they want control and power over the Trump victory. What is so shaming of Make America Great Again? This is the question. It says, and I'm sorry, I'm on a little bit around. I'll wrap up with this, but it says, take your light up onto a hill. Don't hide it under a bucket. Why does America want to go back to the Obama shame years with Biden shame, where we're not going to feel good about ourselves for being excellent? Because 2 excellent things just happened. Why are we not celebrating in the streets? Because they actually happened on Trump's watch.
That's exactly why. The media is not going to celebrate it because it is a Trump win. Operation Warp Speed was a giant success. And what Pfizer did to the Trump administration should be criminal. They're holding off on releasing the vaccine, and then they go so far as to go to the New York Times and the press and go, yeah, we weren't part of Operation Warp Speed. We weren't part of that, which is just an absolute lie. So this is the state of affairs. There's a very, very large group of people that want us to be embarrassed about our country, that want us to be apologetic and feel like, oh, we're all horrible people. And I don't know why that is, but I'm not on board with it. I am 110% reality-based and loving America. This is like, only in America do you do this. Like, we need a vaccine. We need it faster than it's ever been done before. Boom. Not one of them, but now we got 2 of them. And evidently, that's amazing. Like, Biden talked a lot of crap like, oh, I'm going to cure cancer. It's going to be my moonshot. Yeah, good luck for that. You can't moonshot your own slippers on your feet, you old forgetful fool. Like, Trump actually did it. He just did it. It's so fantastic.
It's like a bad divorce and a broken family, Michael, right? It's like your stepkid's dad is like gone off into another planet. You've left him for years. He shows up at their high school graduation and goes, I've made some great kids. You're like, wait a minute, dude, where you been? Biden had nothing to do. He did nothing. He had nothing to do with COVID over last year.
It is like America is the children and the country is separated by divorce. Now, our mom is Joe Biden, right? And she drinks way too much. She's got a drug problem. She's never really worked. She's never done anything. She just like, your father sucks. And meanwhile, Trump has his own business. He's getting things done. He's starting Space Force. He's building walls. He's doing all kinds of stuff. And so now the judge is like, you have to go live with your mom. And I'm like, I don't want to live with mom. All she does is hate my dad. I want to be with him.
And they're like, but you're never going to give back the country. I mean, that's the end game of this, right? It's like the right's going to hold on forever. We're like, if we lose the election, we're actually going to let everybody go back to whoever they want. You can choose, kids. You're right. You can go wherever you want. The end game for conservatives is if we don't win legally, we're just going to win again in 4 years, right? Like the family could be happy again. Who knows?
There's a very good chance, Judd, that with Joe Biden in there, and if they win in Georgia and they get control of the Senate and they use Kamala Lala Ding Dong as the tiebreaker, they could change the rules so a Republican never wins another election in our lifetime.
Very serious. The devil's gone down to Georgia, and it's actually the governor of Atlanta. He is going to try to do everything he can to throw this. The war is on. We have to have one eye off the Trump legal team. I'm thinking about moving. Just FYI. I just want to let my kids know who are out in the studio. Just a little quick notice. We might be going to Georgia because you can vote. I mean, it's that serious. The future of our nation.
Yeah, that's the Democrats' plan. They're trying to get people to move to Georgia.
Tonight on the show.
Okay, Judd, I think we're at that point of the show where we need to promote some things.
Yes.
We need to talk about individual and group accomplishments.
Yes. Thank you for the effective hand signaling, compatriots of mine. So let's jump in with you, buddy, this time. You always kick it back to my book. But let's go to Michael Loftus, because you've been showing up on Dana Perino. You've been doing the morning show on Fox. You've been on the 5, but you've been a real regular going back on Gutfield. And there you are. I just want to say last night was a stellar performance. Everybody's got to go to the Loftus party. Follow Mike. You're on fire, buddy. How long have you been doing Gutfield?
Oh, Gutfeld, I've only been on a handful of times, really. I think I've done like 3 or 4 of the shows.
All in the last year, right?
Yeah. But the great thing is, though, they now have like a socially distanced in studio, because before it was like this. These are tough. You and I have a lot of fun because we've been doing this for a while. But when there's that little satellite delay, it's always better when you're in the same room. And it was a great time, and I got to promote my stand-up special. My stand-up special will be coming out, live from Nashville. That'll be on Fox Nation. I'm pretty stoked about it. I can't wait for the country to see it, the world to see it.
And that's your 4th comedy special with them, third at Fox.
Yeah, 3rd with them, 4th overall. I started off with Comedy Central, did a 1-hour special, then did a stand-up special for Fox, and then it's
nice. Now I don't think I'm gonna blow it, but did you bring back your iconic Andrew Jackson bit on any of these shows that you did originally?
I did the Andrew Jackson bit in my last special, but this one I got some Nancy Pelosi in this one. I made sure I said do some. Everybody loves a good Nancy Pelosi impression. I'm gonna have some ice cream out of a $25,000 freezer while the rest of America starves.
Oh my God, that's my favorite, dude. Bernie and. I mean, we love Bernie.
You know what I haven't done though, Judd? I haven't written a book. I don't have a book. That's what I like. Only the cool kids have books.
Yes. It's definitely not as glamorous. But yes, let's put up the book, Bruce. Shall we do it? All right, there you go. Actually available today since the 10th of this month. 13 and a half reasons why not to be a liberal and how to enlighten others. Myself with a great political writer, Eric Golub, contribution. Dinesh D'Souza gave us a great quote. Antifa leftists may burn this book, but more than a few center-left individuals will read and develop a new respectful understanding of conservatism. So you can take that down. If you want to buy the book, please, Amazon, just put in my name, Judd Dunning. You'll go right there to Amazon because I haven't written any other books. And unless you want to buy, I am selling a bike. No, I'm kidding. But you can buy that. You can buy that there. And we're excited. This week actually should be on Stritchfield and Sean Spicer on Newsmax. So really happy to be associated with Newsmax. I think they've been an amazing breakout media source this year, and it's an honor to be on their roll. And thank you so much, Michael.
It's great, man. I'm so excited for you. For the longest time, I was busting chops. Now the book is out. It's a real thing. You can go to Amazon and get it. You're talking about it on various news formats. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, it took a long time. It was definitely it's hard to write jokes. What you do is amazing, But to stay in today's world, we really go into conservatism. My last pitch is, this is a time there's such an assault on information and history and truth. So what we tried to do is go to the 13 and a half, being abortion, reasons, the ideology, why you choose to be left, right, or center. And you can defend yourself with our book. You say, what are the rational facts? And it's a time to distill and strengthen your core right now. So
a time to read, a time to learn, a time to love.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on. Let's say hello to Bruce. This is our one moment of the show. Bruce, come on in here. Want to thank our new producer from our craft. Oh, there you go. We have our bullet point on there. Thank you so much. This is Bruce Kraft. Bruce Kraft from the studio. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, relax, chilling. Can't complain.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you. And he always puts on a suit and tie, and he always and he puts himself in smart locations.
I'm a big fan of the pocket square too. I gotta say, if you're gonna go nice shirt tie, you gotta do the pocket square. Crafty never lets you down. Crafty bringing the high fashion heat.
I try. Got to make you guys look good. There you go.
You do.
You're doing great.
You do. And you're letting us reach out across the world live through your great skills. And I, as a millennial, just want to say thank you for mastering the. I, as the not millennial, want to thank you for your great work, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Judd, let's get into a wild card.
Okay,
how wild is this one? Is this safe for work? Should people put on their headphones?
Ooh la la.
Sexy. It's sexy if you're a African American Marxist. You're gonna love this one. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So Obama dating tips. Obama in his new book, Hard Leftist Obama, comes to out himself, letting us out be a young. Oh wait, this is a different. So sorry. I was having so much fun writing this. All right. In his new book, Hard Leftist Obama comes to out himself and teaches us how a young horn dog socialist uses Marx and Marcuse to get laid in college. So this is one of those moments where you can't stop laughing at your own at this quote. But this quote is funny. Put this quote up on the screen, Bruce.
Oh, I don't know if we have it.
There we go. Okay. So in Obama's book, and I have to read this, all right, he talks about his young, there are all these questions whether or not he was really a Marxist or really socialist or he was just a passionate Democrat, which we all know by the end of the Obama years that he was definitely a radical ideologue for what he believed in, right? So here's what he said in his book. Looking back, it's embarrassing to recognize the degree which my intellectual curiosity, those first 2 years of college, paralleled the interest of various women I was attempting to get to know. Marx and Marcuse, both hard radicals. So I had something to say in the long-legged socialists who lived in my dorm. Fannin and Gwendolyn Brooks for the smooth-skinned sociology major who never gave me a second look. Foucault and Wolfe for the ethereal bisexual who wore mostly black. As the strategy for picking up girls, my pseudo-intellectualism proved mostly worthless. I found myself in a series of affectionate but chaste friendships. Bring it down. I have to tell you, of all the presidential journals, I want to give my hand of applause to Obama for throwing in Tinder dating tips for community organizers who wanted to deconstruct the nation and try to get laid. So it's just, what a book. This book is an 800-page, just personal, I don't want to use the word hand job, but he really goes into grandiosity. Your thoughts, Michael Loftus? I just loved it.
What a, in a weird way, it's like he's saying, I tried to be fake. I tried to be a fraud. I tried to use these things to get the ladies, but it didn't work. I was in these bad relationships, and I'm just so honest and sensitive. When I tried to be something I'm not, I did. Come on, shut up. Like, colleges, especially now, are full of this kind of phony behavior. People who are wrapping themselves up in socialism to try to get girls. Baby, it's because I care. We should all share. We should all share equally. And if somebody has more, they should share with some who has less. Like right now, baby, you got all the boobies and I don't have any. So how about you share those titties with me?
And as a bisexual, your buddy George, and I mean, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the internet. I mean, this is kind of interesting time for us, right? Because we are in the decade of fake news. I mean, this would be, I'd say, the most disgusting journalist time. I mean, you don't know what's real, right? And through the internet, and I don't want to be that guy, there's so much stuff about why he calls his wife Michael, which is uncomfortable. I don't want to be the guy to go there, but there's a lot of photos. And then you've got a lot of information about pictures of this era. And he said he tried crack once, and the influences that were around him the whole time. He's a radical 60s guy that happened, but he happened later than the 60s, right? He's a radical 70s guy, actually. Yeah. So now you see, I mean, Hitler was a failed artist, right? And Obama couldn't get laid. So let's try to take over and reconstruct the nation. You never know what drives the cycle. What makes Trump who he is? Who knows, man? Maybe his hands aren't so big. I mean, you never know.
Do you really think that Obama couldn't get laid in college? Do you really think that? I think old Barry did just fine. Look at me. Look how much I care. I need to be a leader. My problem is I care too much. Hey, how'd those panties come off? Was it my caring? All right, I'll meet you in a minute. It's just so phony and fraudulent and self-serving. And then to put that in your book.
In your book, yeah. You're a model to the nation.
It's just another way of like, look at me. Look at me. I tried to be a bad guy. Couldn't do it. I'm too good.
How'd I do? Was that wildcard wild enough? Huh?
Well, you're getting better. At least it had some kind of, it wasn't titillating, but it was titillating adjacent. So I'm going to give you half credit on that one. We're going to have to try again next week.
Well, listen, all the dudes that were hot for Obama liked it. I mean, we definitely picked up a new sector, and women, all the Obama lovers.
People are like, ooh, finally, those Bullet Point Nation guys are talking about what makes Barack Obama hot.
All right, so here we are, another wonderfully live stream show with producer Bruce in the background. I can't say our in-office producer because she's politically confidential. So I want to thank our team for another great show. I want to thank Michael Loftus coming off the 5 to our humble CU studios at BPN Studios. We've got a number of different shows you can see on our network at Bullet Point Nation. You can buy my book. You can see Michael Loftus's The Loftus Party videos, which have been awesome. You can jump over and see his comedy special on television. A lot's going on. We invite you guys to come in every week. Michael Loftus, this is my long outro for you to bring it home with something organic and orthodox.
You guys, every week it's 4 new topics and another wild card. Occasionally we'll do the single shot, which is a deep dive on one topic. It's 100% amazing. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing and telling your friends about it. I can't wait to see what happens next week when they release the Kracken. We'll see you guys next time.
And happy Thanksgiving, America.
Good job,